Welcome to Spitbucket. We've got a very special guest this week, Luca Currado from Vietti in Barolo. You've come all the way just to do this video.
Absolutely, only for this.
And yes, one or two small dinners and things as well. Now, tell us about Vietti. It's been around for many years.
It's very old family business. It's old winery. Actually, it's one of the oldest family-owned estate from the Barolo region.
Yep.
The first label is from my estate. Is I say only from 1873, because in 1873 it was the first label that we found from our estate.
Okay.
But the winery go back a few hundred years before. But probably, or some other people, some generation before me, they had a lot of fun to drink all the old bottles, or as I think so, really in Italy the people start to make to put the wine in bottles in the second part of the 18th century.
Okay.
So really, but basically we found we based our founding in 1873, where we had our first label. Barolo today is the most, Barolo and Barbaresco are today the most important, most famous wine of the right now, some of the most important wine of Italy. But if we see the history, today we have many other wines, like you said. But if we see the history, and it's always something that I was very interested in just 100 years ago, in the 18th century, was much different than today. Because an example, today in the Barolo region, that is this region delimited, these 9 small villages, delimited since a long time, is 1,000 hectares with 1,000 owners, so very small region. Today is almost a monocultural, only Nebbiolo for Barolo. But in the 18th century it was much different than today, because this region, half was planted for Barolo, let's say Nebbiolo for Barolo, and half was planted for Dolcetto and Barbera.
Okay.
So really, because the Dolcetto and the Barbera, 100 years ago, they were the most famous wine, not the Barolo.
Okay. Oh, is it more so than?
But because you have to think that the Barolo, as we know today, and again going back to the history, is only from the last part of the 18th century, early 19th century, because in the 18th century the Barolo was made in 3 different ways. Let's say the one as we know today, absolutely, let's say as wine, and was called Barolo Classico. Then it was Vino Tipo Barolo, so wine type Barolo, that was very light and simple Nebbiolo, every day. Very simple. And then but the most famous wine was called Barolo Stravecchio, that was a wine of 45, 17 degree of alcohol. Was as the wine of the 18th century, the most famous wine of the 18th century, so as the port, the Madeira, the Marsala.
Okay, I didn't know that.
So really, and since the wine for Italy is a part of the meal, so for us the wine is for the Mediterranean culture, not only for Italy. The wine is on the table with the food. For us, we always been interesting to do food pairing. So the Dolcetto and the Barbera, they were used to be on the table with the food. The Barolo was just, let's say, for the noble people, or for like digestive wine, or like the Port or Marsala.
One of the things that's happened with Barolo, or Piedmont in general, I guess, is that since about 1995, I guess, you've had a string of extraordinary vintage. I mean, 02 and 03 were a bit, but other than
basically
that,
the 2002 was the disaster. Yes.
But everything else has been phenomenal. In the old days, you used to get sort of 3 or 4 a decade. Now it's 9 a decade.
No. Even if I can say the 2003, there were some fantastic Barolo and fantastic Barbera. Absolutely. But yes, I agree. In 2002, we didn't make a single bottle of wine. We sold everything by bulk, because we made the wine and we sold to other estates.
But if you go back 95 right through, everything else has been
all fantastic, one different than the other, some up and down for sure. But let's say that unfortunately we all talk about global warming.
Yes.
And global warming is also in Italy and where we are, absolutely.
Sure.
And because you have to think that in 25 years, or in 30 years, we almost are 2-3 weeks ahead in harvest before than 30 years ago.
Yep.
And you know, this, if you consider that the growing season of wine is 9 months, you know, it's like a pregnancy. It's like that if in 30 years...
but not so bad-tempered.
No.
Oh, sorry.
No.
Cut that bit, Smitty.
If it's like a pregnancy,
yep.
so everybody start, all the kids, they born 8 months, you know. And probably these had a not too bad effect on the Barolo, let's say, because we are more northern, so we had a much better weather, less rainy, less humid. So the problem was probably much more on south of Italy and in other parts where they had more droughtiness.
Just for the viewers, recent, I mean, 2004 to me is as good as the stuff I've seen from that has been brilliant. I think absolutely wonderful. Yeah. 2005's good. 06 looks like it's another fantastic year.
Sí.
07 and 08.
Let's say 08 we have, I can say that it's very good vintages, but we are going to bottle in other 6 months or 5 months, so we will see when it will be in bottle up we show, but right now everything looks perfect, you know, more very elegant vintages, but elegance in the good sense of the word, you know, complex with a lot of finesse. 2007 is a vintages that I like, I love. I think that is one of the best vintages that I did. I think to make, I'm a farmer before to be a wine maker, so I love to be a farmer. I'm very proud to be a farmer, and I think it was fantastic, the season of 2007, because it was very unusual. Let's say very unusual, because it started very early.
Yep.
We had very early bud break, and then during the year, July, during the summer, the temperature was cold. We had some rainy period also, so the ripening season slowed down. Yep. And then just the 1 month before the harvest in late August, we had the snow in the mountain, and as you know, we are very, very north, and we are all surrounded by big mountains. Yep. And so this was fantastic, because the day in September they were warm, but the night they were very cold, because the snow was chilling down the air. And that was perfect for the ripening of Nebbiolo, because the acidity, we've been able to maintain fantastic acidity and long ripening. So the tanning, they were perfect.
We better actually have a look at what you brought us now, the Perbacco.
Nebbiolo, fantastic.
Okay. Is this a new wine?
No, this is a wine that we always made, but made as today, this is basically is our regular Barolo. Okay. Because it's a Nebbiolo grape, but not Nebbiolo grape coming from outside of the Barolo region, where normally the Langhe Nebbiolo is. This is a Nebbiolo vineyard planted in the Barolo region, and let's say is a selection of cask of cru after 4 years of aging, before the bottling of the Barolo, of the Barolo Castiglione.
It's a lovely nose.
It's very delicate. You know, when I say 2008, and I said to you before, the elegance and the finesse is fantastic. It's very pure Nebbiolo, you know, very floral,
the florals,
violet note. You know, for me, it's my introduction to the Barolo. You know, it's my baby Barolo. I consider the Perbacco, and Perbacco is an expression that my mother gave when the first time she tried our Nebbiolo. And she was surprised, because she didn't expect so big wine, because normally Langhe Nebbiolo are more simple wine. So when she tried, she said, "Oh, Perbacco." Perbacco is an old Italian expression that means wow, oh my god.
Oh, okay.
So I said, it's fantastic, we put on the label.
Now, speaking of your labels, you have a range of, you have birds and all sorts of different things, don't you?
See.
Where did all this come from?
Well, it's all the story. So we have this label since 1971, so it's 40 years, and we never changed. And because they come from, because my family, they always support and help younger artists. And so in the 70s, a group of artists that they wanted to thank my family for the help and the support, they came out with this idea to have every label, every wine, a different artwork.
Okay.
And so we maintained and we kept in all this year. At the beginning was very difficult because not many people accepted this, because in the 70s the best label was a castle with some gold medal in top. This was very unusual, let's say. Really, it broken the wall of also of this. You know, as we can see today in a beautiful store like this.
We are in Emporium. I should have said that before. Thanks to Emporium for allowing us to film here.
Yes, thank you. And you know, here is fantastic because some of the best wine of the world with incredible label, you know. And if we see today, it's funny. In the 70s, I think was much different.
Yes, there's a few there that you wouldn't have seen back then.
No.
Luca, thank you so much for coming on Spitbucket. It's been a great pleasure to have you.
Grazie, thank you for the hospitality.
Remember, we spit so you don't have to. Cheers. Salute.
Salute. Chin chin.